Welcome to my channel. This is an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to click the little bell so that you'll get notified of future videos. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media, and I hope you enjoy the video which follows. Well, hello everybody. I've been asked several times to do some videos showing what you could do with leftover sourdough culture when you're dividing or multiplying your sourdough culture, and some that you have to discard. And I've had a couple of recipes sent to me by Kim, one of my subscribers. They're both very nice, look like very nice recipes. This particular one is for biscuits. I must say I don't often have leftover sourdough. Using the method that I've developed for making my bread, I start by having 8 ounces of the sourdough starter. I add 8 ounces of water and 8 ounces of flour, mix that and let it develop for 6 to 8 hours or so until I'm ready to use it. My recipe calls for 16 ounces of starter. So you've got 24 ounces there. You take your 16 ounces and you're left with 8. And once again, when you're ready to use it, you add 8 ounces of flour, 8 ounces of water. So if you're only using it to make bread, which is mostly what I do with mine, weekly I make bread with it, I don't really have any leftover. But you don't have to have leftovers to do this. You just have to have some starter. So whether it's starter that you're going to discard or some that you're have developed and want to try this recipe, either way it will work just as well. That's 2 cups of my starter. This is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and into that I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of sugar, and a half teaspoon of salt, and I'm using a sea salt, but table salt will work just as well. And these items are going to be sieved to eliminate any lumps and to mix them up a bit, I guess. Sieved into the sourdough starter. And it's supposed to make a very stiff dough, so we'll see how stiff a dough we get here. The last of the sugar isn't going through that. It's too fine of a sieve for the purpose, I guess. And I'll just combine that. I had that spoon in there when I was getting the sourdough culture out of the container. I think I'll get a dirty hand. My clean hand, I mean. I'm going to get dirty with the dough. Not too sticky because of the amount of flour that's in there. having the coldest day of the winter. Today is the 27th, I think, yeah, 27th of February. Minus 18 degrees Celsius this morning, and for the past 48 hours the wind has been incredible. I don't think I'm going to get any more of that combined into there. That's one of the problems that I have with not using weights. I probably got more flour in there than it needed. So we'll turn it out a bit on a board here and do a bit more kneading. And these are cooked in a cast iron skillet. I'll get to use my cast iron skillet. Not looking to be tough. I think that's probably enough kneading. And that's as much as I'm going to get worked into it. So I'll get my skillet and we'll see what we can do with these. That's my oldest cast iron skillet. That belonged to my parents. It was used a lot when I was a child. That wasn't yesterday. The thing about cast iron is it lasts forever. You're supposed to cut these into walnut-sized pieces and form into a ball in the skillet. Exactly forming as pretty as I would like them to. It is a very stiff, dry dough. And I'll bring you back in a few minutes' time when I have them all shaped and in the skillet. There they are divided. Some of my walnuts are bigger than other walnuts. Now they get set aside for at least 20 minutes while the oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, the oven has preheated and they've rested for 20 minutes. They're going in the 400 degree oven. I was going to say 400 and something else, but it's only 400 degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes, so I will check them at 20 minutes and see what I think. And I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Well, they certainly rose nicely. And hopefully you can see that they've turned a nice brown on the top. I went the full 30 minutes, didn't want to go any further because I didn't want to burn them on the bottom. I'll let them cool just a little bit and then we'll try one. I took them out of the pan, well, quite quickly. Just after I finished that last little clip there. Cast iron will retain its heat for a long time, and I thought if they were left in the pan they would probably burn on the bottom. So let these cool for a minute or two and then we'll move to the dining room and try some with a cup of tea. Well, they're still slightly warm. I just cut them in two, buttered them, and put a little bit of plum jam on each one to give them a try. They seem to be nice and crispy outside and tender inside, but time will tell here in just a second when we try one. Well, the last time that I did this, tried something here in the dining room, I got several comments on the lady who is on the wall behind me. I told several people when they commented that I always tease my little great niece when she looks at it that she must have been going some fast when she hit that wall. It's just a piece of sculpture that I bought in an art studio many years ago. I still kind of like it. Well, let's give these a little taste here and see what we've got. They are nice and tender in the center. And they do have a nice crispy exterior. And a wonderful flavor. I can really taste the sourdough in them. They're not like even though they had that much baking powder in them, they're not really like a baking powder biscuit. They're not light and fluffy like that. They're more like a baked roll or whatever. They have more of a bread texture to them. But very good. Something you can do with your leftover starter culture, or just by taking some of your starter culture and using it, I guess. I'm going to put a title on this video as being one of a series. I'll call this the first one. I will try to do 2 or 3 more with some things that you can make with the sourdough culture other than just bread. I've already done one for pita bread and my no-knead bread, and then the regular bread, which I'm producing today. I've got my timer here. Goes in the oven another hour and a half or so, I guess. And once again, if you want to use sourdough and you don't have your own and don't want to do it from scratch, I'll put a link below to where I sell on eBay for not a lot of money, I guess, but I sell on eBay my dehydrated culture. And popping up right here somewhere now will be a link, in screen they call them, to the video that shows how to rehydrate the powdered culture and get it ready to use. So without further ado, thank you very much for watching.